Hello and welcome to M2B Cooking. Today we share with you how to make a focaccia bread with a lot of garlic in it, so we choose to call it an extreme garlic focaccia. First of all, we will make a garlic oil. So we'll crush some garlic and put it into a little recipient into which we can pour olive oil, and a good one we use. We'll leave this oil in the fridge for at least 24 hours, but even better if you have maybe a week. It'll be even more tasteful. In a bowl, we have added some lukewarm water, and then we will add fresh yeast to it and make sure to dissolve the yeast very well before adding salt, sugar, and olive oil. We'll mix this thoroughly before adding all-purpose flour. And we use all-purpose flour for this recipe. It is so simple, and it's actually gonna make the bread really nice that it's made with simple wheat flour as this one. We will then start to incorporate the flour very well into the liquid ingredients, and we do that by using this hand mixer to which we've added a kneading hook that's actually going to do the work very easily for us to integrate the flour well into the wet ingredients. And here you could use a KitchenAid machine, of course. But the idea is really to get all those gluten strings going, to really incorporate the flour so well that we get almost like an elastic dough, almost chewing gum like in the consistency, and you'll see that in just a minute. But this is piece of work that's done best using a machine like this one. After having done this for around 5 minutes, we end up with this beautiful dough. As you can see, we have an elasticity to it and almost chewing gum texture. We're now ready to fill this into our baking pan, so the baking dish that we will actually cook the focaccia bread in the day after, because we are going to leave the dough to rest overnight. So what we've done is we've just lined the baking dish with parchment paper, and then we could just completely easily transfer the dough into this dish. The idea here is to spread it out so that it's evenly placed in the whole dish, and we found that this can be done quite easily using the hands and a spatula like we do here. The idea is that the next day it's going to be easy for us to just pop it out of the fridge and let it rest before cooking it, so we don't need to touch the dough too much tomorrow. We left it for 24 hours in the fridge, and what you can see is the next day it has actually risen quite nicely, this bread, and that is just what we were looking for, to get that air into the dough. And we are now going to make the first step of changing this into an extreme garlic bread. And that is to take a bunch of garlic cloves that have been cut into smaller pieces and to then add them to the dough. So what you'll do is you'll sort of hide these pieces of garlic cloves in the dough by pinching them in and then just covering them over with some dough. And this is actually gonna be a really nice twist to the bread, and we can add these all over the bread so that we make sure that wherever you get a piece from, you'll get the sense of the garlic and the texture of the actual garlic. But on top of that, we want to add the garlic oil as well. So it's been left to stand in the fridge for some days in our case, and we're just gonna first of all pour the garlic infused olive oil on top, and then the garlic pieces that rest in the little recipient we can also add to the surface of the bread. We actually want to sort of really thoroughly add them by rubbing them into the surface of the bread, and we're poking just a little lightly with our fingers to make those holes that are significant of focaccia bread, but don't poke all the way to the paper. We salt the bread here with just a sprinkle on top, and we have our oven preheated at 480 degrees Fahrenheit, and we baked the bread for around 25 minutes. And as you can see, this is the result after baking. It is so nice and crispy on the surface, as you can see, golden brown. And what you'll see in just a minute is what it's hiding underneath, the very soft and airy crumb. You can see those air holes that are in the crumb here. And it's a beautiful, beautiful taste of garlic and smell of garlic that really comes from it. You can see here in this piece of bread those small pieces of garlic that are spread all over. You can probably imagine also the surface having this baked garlic from the small pieces of garlic that were in the oil. That's really also giving a beautiful taste and odor to the kitchen. This was an amazing recipe. It's easy to make. It of course takes a bit of time, but as long as you do these small techniques right, you can have an amazing loaf of Italian garlic bread at home. Thanks for watching MTB Cooking. Please subscribe to our channel, give this video a like, and we hope to see you again in our next video. Bye.